The first thing I noticed that morning was the silence. It wasn't the usual quiet you'd expect at dawn. It was heavier, unsettling, the kind that twists your gut and whispers that something's gone terribly wrong. My farm was never this still at sunrise. Normally, it'd be alive with the sound of my prize rooster, Rusty, belting out his crow like he ruled the world. But today, nothing. Just a creepy, unnatural hush. Then I spotted them, feathers scattered across the yard, a trail leading straight to the woods. My chest tightened as dread crawled up my spine. Rusty didn't wander from the coop on his own. Someone had taken him. I bolted across the yard, following the feathers like a grim treasure hunt, my boots kicking up clumps of dirt as panic surged through me. A sickening image flashed in my mind. Rusty, defenseless, in the clutches of someone who didn't grasp his value. He wasn't just any rooster. Rusty was the reigning county fair champ, a local legend. He had the reflexes of a prize fighter, a personality that outshone most folks I knew, and a strut that could make a peacock jealous. More than that, he was my ticket to $110,000 at the national poultry competition. Losing him wasn't an option. My pulse hammered as I reached the wood's edge, scanning for any sign of life. That's when I saw it, a single shotgun shell, freshly spent, lying in the dirt like a tossed candy wrapper. My heart stopped. Then, like a nightmare come to life, I heard her voice. Well, look who finally showed up. Lisa purred, stepping out from behind a tree. Her polished nails tapped against the stock of her hunting rifle, her dark hair tucked under a camo cap. She wore that smug grin of someone convinced they're the cleverest person around. My fists clenched tight. Where is he? I demanded. She shrugged, casual as could be. Oh, that loud nuisance? Taken care of. You're welcome. I blinked, my brain scrambling to catch up. Taken care of? I repeated, my voice dropping low and dangerous. She smirked. Let's just say your feathered alarm clock won't be waking anyone up anymore. My vision went red. You shot Rusty? Lisa tilted her head, like I'd asked something obvious. Relax, Jake, it's just a chicken. Her words hit me like a slap. Just a chicken? Rusty was worth more than her fancy convertible, more than her gaudy designer bags, more than her entire shallow existence. My breath came fast, hands trembling as I jabbed a finger at her. Do you have any idea what you've done? She scoffed. Please, you're acting like I shot your cat. It's a farm animal. They die all the time. Get another one. I stepped closer, and for the first time, her smirk wavered. That wasn't just any rooster, I said through gritted teeth. That was Mayor Harrison's bird. The color drained from her face so fast I thought she might collapse. What? I crossed my arms, watching her panic unfold. Yeah, Rusty wasn't mine to keep. I was looking after him for the mayor until the competition. You know, the one with the $10,000 prize? The one he was banking on. I let that sink in, savoring her crumbling confidence. You didn't just kill a chicken, Lisa. You killed the mayor's prize champ. Her mouth flapped open and shut like a fish out of water. Oh no. She clutched her forehead. I didn't know. I thought it was just some random farm bird. And you thought it was fine to shoot a random farm bird for kicks? I shot back. She waved a hand wildly. That's not the point. The mayor, he'll destroy me. I shrugged. Probably. Lisa grabbed my arm. Jake, we can fix this, right? You won't tell him, will you? I yanked free. Oh, I'm absolutely telling him. She groaned, pacing in frantic loops. No. He'll ruin me. He'll ban me from the country club, spread it all over town. He might even press charges. Oh God, I can't go to jail. I look terrible in orange. I raised an eyebrow. Maybe you should have thought about that before turning my yard into your personal shooting range. She stopped pacing and spun toward me, eyes wild. Wait, what if we don't tell him? What if we find another rooster, one that looks just like Rusty? I stared at her, dumbfounded. Are you seriously suggesting we trick the mayor? She clasped her hands together. Not trick. Just make him think everything's fine. He doesn't have to know. I rubbed my temples. Do you hear yourself? There's no way we'd find another rooster like Rusty. He was one of a kind. Lisa bit her lip. What if we die one? I gaped at her, stunned into silence. You're unhinged. Come on, Jake, she pleaded. I'll pay you $5,000 to help me replace him and keep quiet. $5,000 was tempting. It was real money. But then I thought of Rusty, all the hours I'd spent training him, the future I'd mapped out with that prize cash. And I thought of the mayor, a man who held grudges like they were fine wine. I shook my head. No deal. Lisa let out a choked noise, half fury, half fear. Fine. 10 grand. I paused. 10,000 was more than the contest prize. But it still didn't touch my principles. Plus, I had a hunch the mayor would turn this into something far more entertaining than cash. I grinned. You know what, Lisa? I think I'll let the mayor sort this out. Her face twisted in pure terror. Jake, wait. I turned and headed for my truck. Her frantic footsteps trailed me, but I didn't slow down. This was about to be the most hilarious disaster this town had ever seen. Lisa was a wreck as I drove back toward town. She clung to the passenger seat, rattling off excuses like a broken record. Her voice climbed higher with every word, hands gripping the dashboard like we were about to launch into orbit. Jake, listen, we don't have to do this. We can fix it. You like money, right? I'll give you anything. I kept my eyes on the road, tuning her out. She squirmed, shifting like a kid mid-tantrum. Think about how much paperwork the mayor would have to deal with if his rooster went missing. It'd wear him out. We're doing him a favor by handling this ourselves, she rambled, trying to twist her mess into logic. I chuckled. Oh, so lying to the mayor is a public service now. She swatted my arm. I'm begging you, Jake. I can't afford to be blacklisted here. You don't know what that man can do. I glanced at her, pretending to mull it over. So you'd rather commit fraud than fess up? She huffed. It's not fraud, it's damage control. I rolled my eyes as we pulled up to my farm. The second I cut the engine, Lisa spun to face me, hands clasped tight. Just give me a shot, okay? Let me find a replacement before you go blabbing to the mayor. If I screw up, then fine, tell him. Her desperation was almost funny. Almost. I sighed, rubbing my face. Fine. You've got 24 hours. Lisa shot out of the truck like a rocket, already on her phone. Don't worry, I've got this handled. I doubted it. The next few hours were a train wreck. I watched Lisa tear through town like a mad woman, hunting for a rooster that could pass as Rusty. She hit the feed store first, badgering old Mister Carter into showing her every bird in stock. After half an hour of nitpicking, she stormed out, muttering about how none had Rusty's star quality. Then she tried nearby farms, banging on doors and offering absurd cash for any rooster that looked majestic, bold, and a little intimidating. At one point, she wound up at Mrs. Delaney's place and nearly got mauled by a rooster named Bandit. I laughed so hard I almost fell out of my truck. Finally, out of sane ideas, Lisa went full lunatic. She bought a plain white rooster, then hit the craft store for hair dye and fabric paint. I watched in horror as she set up shop in my barn, holding up a photo of Rusty while mixing colors like some deranged artist. This is nuts, I muttered, arms crossed, as she tried brushing red streaks into the bird's feathers. Lisa glared at me. Desperate times, desperate measures. The rooster squawked and flailed, knocking over the paint. Red dye splashed across her pricey jeans. She shrieked, hurling the brush across the barn. I bit back a laugh. Wow, that went great. She whirled on me, eyes blazing. You're loving this, aren't you? I shrugged. Kinda. She groaned, slumping onto a hay bale, rubbing her temples. Okay, plan B. I raised an eyebrow. There was a plan A? She ignored me, pulling out her phone again. I know a guy. He deals in rare poultry. I stiffened. Lisa, please tell me you're not calling some shady bird smuggler. She waved me off. It's not illegal. Just a little sketchy. I shook my head. No way. I'm not going to jail over your dumb idea. She sighed dramatically. Chill out. He's just a breeder with exotic stock. If anyone's got a Rusty double, it's him. 10 minutes later, we pulled up to the creepiest farm I'd ever laid eyes on. The place looked like a set for a low-budget crime flick. Sagging barn, broken fences, and a stench like something had croaked nearby. Lisa hopped out like this was routine, strutting up to a greasy guy in a tank top and shorts. His name was Tommy, and he looked like he hadn't slept since Tuesday. You here for birds? He asked, scratching his neck. Lisa nodded eagerly. We need a rooster. One with attitude, preferably one that looks like it could rob you blind. Tommy smirked. Got just the thing. He led us to a pen out back where a hulking, mean-eyed rooster paced like a jailed thug. The thing was a monster, beak like a switchblade, eyes promising murder. Lisa clapped her hands. Perfect. We'll take him. I grabbed her arm. Are you crazy? That thing looks like it snacks on other roosters. She yanked free. He's got charisma. That's what we need. Before I could argue, Tommy opened the pen. The rooster charged. Lisa screamed as it launched at her, claws out, aiming for her face. The next 10 seconds were pandemonium. Lisa hit the mud, the bird flapping and pecking like she'd stolen its lunch. Tommy doubled over laughing while I stood there, arms crossed, watching her reap what she'd sowed. She finally scrambled up, hair wrecked, coated in mud and feathers. Fine, bad plan. Let's go. We drove back in silence, Lisa sulking with her arms crossed. This is your fault, she muttered. I barked a laugh. My fault. You're the one who shot the mayor's bird. She groaned, rubbing her face. There's no way out, is there? Nope. We rolled into town just as my phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen, Mayor Harrison. My stomach dropped. Lisa saw it and gasped. Oh no, no, no. I took a deep breath and answered. Hello. The mayor's voice was cool as ice. Jake, we need to talk. Now. Lisa whimpered. I nodded. Be there soon. I hung up and glanced at her. She looked ready to faint. You ready? She swallowed hard. Not even close. I put the truck in gear. This was about to get wild. The drive to City Hall felt like an eternity for Lisa. She sat rigid, clutching her seatbelt, muttering prayers and curses under her breath, like she could wish this away. I didn't bother reassuring her. She'd made her bed. When we pulled up, Mayor Harrison stood on the steps, a towering figure with broad shoulders and a jawline carved from stone. He had the air of a retired general, and the way he stood, arms crossed, feet firm, screamed he wasn't here to mess around. Lisa froze, hand on the door. Maybe he just wants to chat about something else, she whispered, clinging to hope. I snorted. Sure. Maybe the forecast. She glared, but before she could snap back, the mayor's voice cut through. Out of the truck. Now. Lisa yelped, fumbling with the handle and nearly falling out. I followed, keeping my face blank. No point in looking guilty. The mayor eyed us for a long moment, his gaze unreadable, then turned and marched inside. We trailed him, Lisa's heels clacking on the marble like a death knell. He led us to his office, shutting the door with a heavy thud, then grabbed a file from his desk and slapped it down hard. Tell me, he said, voice low and steady. Where's my rooster? Lisa made a choked sob. I stayed quiet, watching his fingers tap the desk. He knew something. Maybe not everything, but enough. Lying wasn't an option. Lisa, though, hadn't caught on. Oh, funny story, actually, she started, voice shaky. You see, Jake and I were just... Enough, the mayor cut in, sharp as a blade. She snapped her mouth shut. He turned to me. Jake. I took a breath. Lisa shot Rusty. The room went dead silent. Lisa shook her head like a lunatic. It was an accident. The mayor's eyes narrowed as he shifted toward her. An accident? She gulped. I thought he was just some random farm chicken. I didn't know he was yours. His jaw tightened. So your excuse is you thought it was okay to trespass and kill someone's livestock for fun? Lisa whimpered. The mayor pinched the bridge of his nose, exhaling slow. When he spoke again, his quiet tone was scarier than any shout. Do you know what that bird meant to me? She nodded fast. Yes, now I do. And I feel horrible, just horrible. He leaned forward, hands on the desk. Rusty saved my life once. Did you know that? Lisa blinked. He did. The mayor nodded. Last year, a rattlesnake got into my office. I didn't see it till it was too late. But Rusty, he spotted it. Threw himself at that snake before it could bite me. Fought it off like a soldier. Lisa's mouth flopped open and shut. The mayor straightened. And now, because of you, he's gone. She looked ready to collapse. I can fix this. I'll get you a new rooster, a better one, the best money can buy. His eyes darkened. Rusty was irreplaceable. You can't just swap him out like a broken chair. She swallowed hard. Okay, then what? What can I do to make it right? The mayor stared at her, then a slow smirk crept across his face. Oh, I've got an idea. 15 minutes later, the town square was packed. Word of Lisa's screw-up had spread like wildfire, and folks turned out in droves to see the mayor's justice. Lisa stood on a makeshift stage, miserable in a giant, goofy chicken costume. Beak mask, yellow feathers, the works. The mayor stepped up, addressing the crowd. People of Pine Hollow, we're here to mourn the loss of our beloved mascot, Rusty the Magnificent, a hero, a champion, a legend. The crowd cheered wildly. The mayor raised a hand, hushing them. And thanks to Lisa's reckless stupidity, we've lost him forever. Cheers turned to boos. Lisa shrank into her feathers. The mayor went on. But justice will be served. Lisa will spend the next 2 months doing community service, in that chicken suit. The crowd roared with laughter. Lisa gasped. 2 months. The mayor nodded. 200 hours, rain or shine. She groaned, burying her face in her feathered hands. He wasn't done. And let's not forget the money. Rusty was set to win $10,000 at the National Poultry Competition. Since Lisa stole that from us, she'll pay the town $10,000 in damages. Lisa choked. I don't have $10,000. He smirked. Then start saving. The crowd cheered again, stomping and clapping. Lisa glared at me, betrayed. You're loving this, huh? I grinned. A bit. Then, just when I thought it couldn't get better, I heard it. A familiar cluck. The crowd hushed, heads swiveling. There, strutting out from behind a hot dog cart like a king, was Rusty. I blinked. No way. Lisa gasped. Oh my God. Rusty flapped his wings, crowed loud and proud, and hopped onto a box. The mayor's eyes widened. Rusty. Turns out Lisa hadn't killed him, just winged him. In the chaos, he'd bolted into the woods. A local farmer had found him, patched him up, and kept him safe, oblivious to the town's meltdown. The crowd went nuts. The mayor, grinning ear to ear, scooped Rusty up like a lost kid. Rusty lives. Lisa sobbed in relief. Does this mean I don't have to wear the suit? The mayor shot her a look. Oh no, you're still wearing it. And so, Rusty was back with his rightful owner. The town had a fresh tale to tell for years, and Lisa spent 2 months picking up trash in a chicken suit. Justice never tasted so good.